Hey guys, happy Friday. My name is Dodie. I'm the owner of Lean Wild Designs, and I'm also a makeup artist and an esthetician. And I wanted to come on here to show my experiences and a little bit of what I would say a mixologist. I love mixing color. So today we are working with Farmhouse paints, which I stumbled upon because I've been reading a lot about acrylic resin-based paints. And it really intrigued me, and the fact that I can blend and shade with it really kind of piqued my attention. So I decided to become a retailer in the Erath, Louisiana area, and I am very excited about this paint. I love the way it brushes on, the way it mixes, everything about this paint so far. So today I actually wanted to demonstrate on a neutral white that is pretty much good with any color tone in your house if you have neutral. So if your walls are gray, if your walls are green undertone, even if it's a warm undertone, this color is great. This is a color that I mix that is great for cabinet painting as well. So I started painting this piece right here. This is for a client, so apparently we picked out a color, so I decided I had to order some more of the same color because she's bringing me more pieces. So I needed to match a certain color, but I did not want to use a chalk-based paint, so I really wanted to use this paint. So I mixed the color to be more of a grayish tone, a little bit of cool, a little bit of warm. So no matter what it's against, it's gonna match really well. So for some of y'all who do or do not may not know about Farmhouse paint, it's acrylic resin-based paint. It goes on so smooth, glides on really good. So if you're new to painting, and this is something that I really think about, you know, people that might want to do something themselves, I want to know, and I think about when I'm using something, is it going to be easy for anyone else? Is it going to be good for the professionals? That's an important factor for me when I approach someone or when somebody approaches me about questions and maybe a project they're doing alone. So what I did was I mixed Pumice Stone, okay, which has a little bit of a gray, a neutral gray, a warmer gray maybe undertone, and Vanilla Chai. So Vanilla Chai is a little warmer. It has more like a little bit of a yellow undertone, which when I put it on there by itself, it was a little more warm than I wanted. So I mixed the two, and on the first try, it came out with the color I wanted. So this is the color it came out to be. So it's more of a grayish tone. I did the top drawer. This is my second coat on the top drawer. And I put the drawers back in. I usually paint them out because of all the sides I have to do, but I wanted to show y'all the color, and as I paint them, and a little bit of information on tips that I've learned along the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how easy it is to brush with this paint. I have to get another brush. So what I like to do when I'm doing doors, you don't wanna start where the hole is on the door. So always start in the middle above it and go out. You do not have to overwork this paint. It glides so well. Okay. Now the tops, what I like to do is if I get a little puddle, this is a trick that I love. So I go over it with the sponge, or to not have any puddles, going over with a small sponge on the edges of small areas is awesome, because you tend to not get drips that way. Why? Because it's a sponge. So a sponge will hold on to whatever you put on it. So a sponge is really good for that. It's not gonna drip as much. So if you need some more paint off of it, you can just squeeze it and then brush on, because that's what a sponge does rather than a brush. So that's a tip if you get a lot of puddles. I find though that this paint does not, I don't know why, but I feel like I don't get a lot of puddles with this paint. Some paints I do. So I'll start in the middle and work my way. So I'll start on the side of the hose of the drawer, and then I work my way toward it. That way I don't get any puddle in the handle. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of brush this on. And like I said, if you feel like you want to use a sponge, that would help. That also works as well. Now, for me, it don't matter because I'm going to be painting the inside of the drawer because it's a drawer door facing, so I can so it has another piece on there. So this whole piece needs to be painted. Okay. So, but for now, I'm just showing you the door. So I'm putting it back in so I can show you how this paint works. So as it dries, guys, I notice as it dries, it may look like you're missing spots or whatever on your piece, which is no big deal because it just dries like that. And usually it's because you're just on your first coat most of the time. Now, sometimes it helps me see what I did miss with my brush. So if I just wait a minute or two, I notice I can go over that area. Again, if I just wait, see, like I can always already kind of go over the top part that I did already. You can see where I missed right here. Okay, so you can see it's dry right here. So it's gonna look different than the bottom. Guys, if you're new to this paint, it's awesome. It's so easy to use. At the same time, I'm very, very excited with an acrylic resin-based paint. So, a few things that I wanted to come in here, show y'all good neutral. I love mixing color. Actually, I wish I had a custom piece to do that high color and fun that I can do with this paint to really blend and mix. I will do that soon, so I'm really excited about that. So if you want to know, so after this dries, I'm gonna look at it and see if I missed anything. Right now, it looks like I did because it's drying right now, so I'm not gonna touch anymore. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I had to fill a little beady pinhole, but she's changing the knob, so I need to fill that up. So right here, I noticed I had a little bit of a puddle yesterday, and all you gotta do is go with a light sand and sand that off, and that's not a big deal. So that was partially my fault. How I missed that, I really don't know. I didn't have light in this area. So I just got a new building. I just got my own shop here, and the lighting is not great, so I'm still working on getting my lighting right. So I do have a lot of light in my area where I paint, my usual area I paint. This is the front area where I have a few pieces that I've done to resale. Although I don't have many because I do a lot of commission pieces. But I do have a booth in Roosters in Lafayette. So we try to keep some pieces in there. I mean, look how easy that is to brush on, guys. I mean, it's so smooth. So the finish is really soft, guys. If y'all don't know, the finish is really soft. It's not chalky. I did do a scuff sand in between or before I did this second coat, just because I've always have, and I feel like doing a little bit of a scuff sand helps the paint adhere better. It's like it becomes a part of the piece, like one with the piece. So that just seems to work better for me. Just an idea if you decide to paint. A lot of people don't do that. I do. I like the way it feels better. And also, most of my clients, they like that factory finish feel to their piece. So that's another reason why I do sand in between my prime coats. So I prime every piece. I prime in between I sand in between 2 prime coats, sand in between all my paint coats, and sand in between my sealers. That's just me. It might be a little overkill, but so I think I'm gonna go with a little rag pad or whatever sponge or sand pad that you might have if you feel like you do have drips. I find that if I do have a little buildup somewhere, I find sanding with this paint, it gets a little easier, although at the same time, it sticks really, really well. So if you have a little bit of a thickness and you need to get rid of that, it's really easy to do. I can always do a video on how to take care of that as well. Let's see. I did this door. I'm already lost to see what door already did. So what is, please tell me, let me know what y'all think about this color. Our most popular color in this area for cabinets is this grayish tone. And she just bought this piece and ordered it, and it just wasn't quite the right color that she was going for. So we decided to paint it, and I think that this was the best paint for her piece for sure. And she's coming tomorrow to drop off some more pieces, so I'm really excited for her to see it so far. Like I said, if you still you know, have a hard time with drips or whatever, you can definitely use a sponge. You can go back with it. It's a little sponge applicator, or you can paint the edges with a sponge applicator. I find that if I got to get into little corners like in these areas here, I can show you how to do that. Okay, so these areas right here at the bottom, using the sponge applicator just makes your life so much easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and try. So I'm gonna use this sponge applicator. Okay, not gonna put a lot because it goes into the sponge and it's easy just to kind of squeeze and put more on there so it doesn't go all over. So you have more control over the sponge. I'm all about different types of brushes. As a makeup artist, using different types of brushes for different applications makes your life so much easier and actually does what you want the job to be like. Whatever you want that piece to look like, if you want texture, if you want smoothness, if you want shading and creases, having the right brush makes all the difference in the world. So if you feel like you have too much on your brush, the good thing about the sponge is if you have too much on your sponge, then it won't just go on there unless you squeeze it on there. So it's not gonna get all over. And the reason I'm using the sponge also is because I did not tape my piece up, which I will have to go back and clean up a little bit. And then I'm gonna do the same thing along the sides as well. And I'm gonna take my drawers out so I can paint the inside. Now that I will tape on there, I've already primed it, but I will tape it up to paint it. I was lucky that I didn't get any on the piece that I didn't want. So I will do the top, paint the sides, and hopefully I'll post a picture and show you what it looks like. Thanks guys, thank y'all for watching. Bye.